County. I promise it will. No.
We're live.
We're live? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for this Thursday, August 5th, Redevelopment Commission meeting. First and foremost, if we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a short invocation. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you bow? Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for letting us be gathered here today. Thank you for the beautiful weather. Lord, we just ask that keep your hand over all the students and teachers and administration as they start a new year. Please help keep them safe and have a great year. And Lord, we ask for you to keep your hand over us as well as we try to make decisions to the best of our abilities and for the betterment of the community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from both the executive session and regular sessions from July 1st.
I'll make them. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll make a motion we approve the executive session minutes from July 1st, 2021.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, regular?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the regular meeting.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next item, financial report. Chelsea?
You were provided the financial report from the clerk treasurer's office earlier. I guess it was late yesterday. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have. I do believe a copy is in front of Commissioner Culp right now, if anyone did not have a chance to look at it.
Any questions for Chelsea about the financial report? Seeing and hearing none, I need a motion to accept the financial report.
I'll make a motion to accept the financial report.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Old business, Mooresville Business Center update, Merriman and Bethel.
We are pretty much finished with the Merriman and Bethel roads. We did have one invoice in the docket that is for Banning Engineering. I spoke with Mark Butler and time for coordination with SCI as we were working to extend electric to the Shell building and to finalize the pay apps. He believes we'll only have one invoice left next month. And as of right now, we have roughly $35,000 left in construction observation, so we did come in under budget. So I thought that was good news. Absolutely. Regarding the Shell building, I apologize it did not make it in your packet, but I just got an update from Mr. Runabaum at about 3:30 this afternoon. So I will, if you will indulge me, I will read it to you. Last month's completed work includes the west side downspout drainage piping was installed. The painting of the exterior was completed. The roof to wall flashing was completed. The steel reinforcement fabrication for the southeast and southwest corner glass storefronts is still in progress. Power was finally brought to the building and is supposed to be on officially today. Items for the next coming month, install the steel reinforcement at the two corners noted above previously. Complete site grading so that we can do the limited asphalt paving and the site seeding in September, which is a good time to have that done. Have the glass work at the two corners in progress and complete the hooking up of lights and the exhaust fan since the power will be on. One thing I will add, and I have on my list to do this month, I know I was down there this week, and bush hogging needs to be completed east of 67 behind the gateway sign, and then maybe a portion of the Shell building. As they're doing siding, grading work and finishing that, I want to make sure that I'm working with Runabaum on exactly where, but I'll be getting some quotes for some bush hogging. I know that the street department did it last year, but I know it was really cumbersome. Their bush hog just isn't big enough for what we're trying to accomplish. So I did talk to Mr. Moore today, and he said he said their guys are really busy, and it's probably best to get some quotes. So I'll be working on that.
Chelsea, do they actually have the steel, or are they still waiting on it?
Well, I think that they have, per his email, items for this month, install the steel.
Yeah, that's.
That makes me think that we have it. Now, the part where I don't think that we have is have the glass work at the two corners in progress is for this month. So I believe.
You think we have?
I believe we have the steel. I don't think we now have the glass.
Okay.
So that will be.
Steel, yes, glass, no, right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any questions for Chelsea on those updates? Seeing, hearing none. High Street, State Road 42, Monroe and High Street signal update.
I did speak with CMT and let them know that the commission wants to move forward, but would really like to know better a price. He also does not know what it will be priced, but knows that we're interested in moving forward, but are very cognizant of the price. So as soon as he has more information, as he just received the notice to proceed, he'll get that to us so we can make a more informed decision.
Any questions for Chelsea on Monroe and High? Moving right along. New business project list. I was fortunate enough to have 2 whole days off, first time in about a year and a half for me. And I took an afternoon to kind of sit back and think about the direction the RDC may take. So if you will indulge me, what we've done to this point has mostly been accredited to other commissions, 5-10 years ago, things like that. Dr. Moore, you can probably attest best. We're fairly new here, so. And we're kind of at the end of their list. We need to start our own list. First thought, being that we've received news today collectively. Unfortunately, we can't share it yet, but first and foremost is we've seen the need for shell building warehouse inventory here in Mooresville. We are being way outcompeted by Johnson County, Hendricks County, and then others, even Putnam County, as far reaching as that, are starting their own, and we don't want to be left behind. We do have space. We do have availability to, turn and burn, if you will. We may have some access to about a 200,000 square foot shell building just north of the one that we have already. There is a need for that. We've seen that has been proven. Next on the list, also by businesses here that are expanding. A couple of businesses come to mind that we've spoke to. They're not ready for 200,000 square foot. They're ready for 10, 25, 75,000 square foot. So smaller inventory such as the ones on Ronald Reagan, to where we can break it up. We can put and retain the ones that have already been here, that invested into the community, that don't want to leave. We can put them in something a little bit more to their liking for the future, to maybe, eventually we can get them into one of the larger buildings. I'm fortunate enough to both be on the RDC, the Town Council, and the EDC. So if a business comes to the town or the RDC and that doesn't pan out, I try to get them to stay in Morgan County regardless. So, but let's face it, I want them to be in Mooresville. So inventory. The last project that came to mind is, and I want to be fully transparent with you and the public, These are not things set in stone. If you have any questions, comments, you don't like them, I'm trying to be different than years past. I want to throw ideas out there. If nobody likes them, then by all means tell us. If you like them, by all means, I welcome that a lot more. But last but not least is to complete the gateway. I walk up and down Main Street. I get tired of seeing mismatched sidewalks. I even want to take it further and have more connectivity throughout downtown Mooresville. I want pedestrians, I want residents, potential, even kids, families, from the library all the way to Main Street, all the way through. I want it all to match eventually. But I've seen the backlash, I've heard the backlash, I've lived the backlash in some forms. But I think completing it is a card that is in the deck that we will eventually have to play. Whether it's this commission, the next commission, probably not the commission after that one, but eventually we're going to have to complete it. So short and sweet, I know, but these are also 5-10-year projects. So I think the need for another shell building, another piece of inventory is there. On top of that, smaller space to retain the businesses that are wanting to grow. We have 3 right off the top of my head that we've spoken to. And then eventually complete the gateway, which is sidewalks, more connectivity. So there you go. Any comments or questions? I know it's just throwing ideas out.
I would love to see what you're talking about, having things match, having a cohesive downtown. What I'm curious about is, as we look at doing that, if there are projects we can do where we could tie in having them done with those other projects. If there are redevelopment pieces, if there are places within the TIF district that need to be redeveloped in one way or another, or purchased and built out, or purchased and then sold to developers, if there are ways to then tie some of those projects to something like that. I went on the tour of Carmel.
Yep.
And I mean, we're not Carmel, never will be Carmel, don't want to be Carmel. There are many things they are doing that are not feasible here, but when you look at some of the things that they've done that are successful, that I think are doable, is they were able to go to developers who wanted to be there and say, well, will you do this while you're at it? Will you do this while you're at it? And they just a little bit at a time chipped away over a 25-year period till the point where they're at now.
I completely agree. I think that we can, there's short-term goals, there's long-term goals. Like you said, the 25-year goals, I'll probably not be here in 25 years. Let's just be candid. But I definitely think that there's opportunity to make downtown Mooresville a little bit more appealing.
When you say complete the gateway, it's been a few days since I've actually looked at the old gateway plans, but are you talking mostly like Main Street and even all the way out to like Samuel Warner? Because that's all in that gateway.
Yeah, no, I'm talking more about just downtown.
Just downtown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, like all the way.
When you go I guess when I say complete the gateway, I really didn't mean anything about the Samuel Moore. I'm more focused on what everybody knows as Mooresville.
I mean, you definitely said library over.
Yeah.
How far that way are you talking, like to the railroad tracks?
I definitely think close to it. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because that is certainly kind of a hard line.
Yeah, and I know from experience that the railroad will just not work with us on any idea. Trust me. Been through that one a couple times, and they won't do it, so. I think that's kind of our hard line as well.
Yeah, well, and then, of course, I mean, how far north does our TIF go? Because I know that when we talked about the school and the project along there, that's not within our TIF.
Right. I'm more east to west right now.
East to west.
Because north and south, when you kind of look at it, it's kind of already done. Aesthetic wise, I would like to see the east to west. And the town's, going to take proactive measures eventually, I would hope, for further north, northwest in that corridor along the high school and things like that. Hopefully. Dr. Moore, you're smiling. You're not even looking over your glasses. You want to say something?
Okay, you called on me, so I'll speak.
Well, you're about to throw your pen out.
I was about to anyway. No, Dustin, I appreciate you taking the initiative to make a statement like that. And I think it's important that this group continue to play the cards above the table. That doesn't mean that you have to tell everything you know, because sometimes you have to keep things quiet, but play all the cards that you can above the table. And more than that, and this is what you implied, and I like it, is willing to listen to your people in the community, the businesses and the people in the community, and willing to accept differences of opinion and being respectful and working those out. And then this group of 5 votes doing the very best they can for the people in the community. And I have confidence in this group to do that. So good for you. Keep it going. Make a plan, sketch it out, realize plans sometimes change, and proceed, sir. That's the way to do it.
No, thank you. Commissioner Taylor. Commissioner Ryan, let's back about what came out.
To build off of that, I'm a big checklist person. So I think we're to the point as far as the gateway. What's our checklist? How do we want to prioritize? Also thinking, I like to try to think long-term. I'll use downtown Franklin for example. We spent a lot of time down there for the July events, different Franklin College events. One thing I applaud them on is the projects that they did, whether it's redoing the sidewalks, putting in crosswalks. How's that long-term going to affect how the businesses operate down there? What's that going to do for the town? And I think that's one thing that's our major focus is what can we do that's going to have a major positive impact on the town and the businesses. And I think when we prioritize that list, the access to Main Street where it's safe for families and kids to walk on, okay? How's that going to help the businesses downtown? How's that going to help the people downtown? I think if we maintain that focus, it's going to work out a lot better, because I know in projects in the past, when you look at the entire scope, it's going to get pretty complicated, and if you don't chew it off one chunk at a time, before you know it, nothing's getting done. So I think if we make that list, prioritize it, and just keep in the back of our mind, how's this going to help the town, then it should work out fine. But like Dr. Moore said, it's great to come up with the list that you came up with, because I think it's something we need.
Commissioner Hyde-Wright?
I don't know. It's what I said earlier.
Commissioner Paul, anything else?
The walkability is definitely important. And I think that right now, especially as you look at sidewalks around town and not just Main Street,
Right.
If you don't have the arteries feeding the main artery, you're not going to get them to walk here. And so there's got to be a partnership with the town council willing to do the things we need to get done, so that what we do here is not done in vain, number one. And I think as we look at what we want to do to expand the gateway, we also need to take a look at what we've done on the gateway and see if there are things that we need to fix as well, that were a part of that project. There are some things that I think didn't work. We don't want to do those again. And are there ways that we can improve on them?
Right.
Yeah.
Vice President Perry.
You know, as I said here, and I think these are all good ideas, but everything you're talking about, shell buildings and sidewalks, connectivity, all of that, guess what that involves? People. So I think the RDC needs to be thinking, and since we can do that, we have the authority to do that now, is housing. We have to have a place to put these people. I'm all for them coming here. And we already have 2 subdivisions that have been approved. I think we need to look at apartments for singles or single families that don't want a house, a 3-bedroom house or a 2-story house, that just want a place to sleep. They were career people, but all of these lead back into people. And if we want the people, then we can do all these other things.
Yeah.
They work together,
And for years, I've talked to developers that, even purchased property here that said we're going to build apartments, and
Absolutely.
never did, because they all went to Hendricks County because that's where the workforce is.
Yep, that's right.
I hate to say it, there's executive housing or executive apartments over there that are more than my mortgage because I stayed in one. I think the low-hanging fruit, in my opinion, right now, just because of the market's another shell building. Low-hanging fruit. And then we can tackle longer terms as the housing is being developed here in Mooresville that's already been approved. I know Martinsville and Monrovia have also approved additional housing.
Yeah, they have.
So if we give businesses an opportunity to move here, move their workforce here, then we can quickly fill up those houses and not be another, shall I say, housing addition to the east of Mooresville, maybe around Meyer area.
Yeah, I got you.
Any additional comments? I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate you indulging me in the project list and trying to give ideas for the commission to move forward. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Next on the agenda, legal managerial update. Adam?
Chelsea, you want to go first?
I don't have a whole lot, but I can. You have my monthly report in front of you. I did attend a meeting this month with Lieutenant Governor Crouch and Senator Bray, who provided a legislative update. Lots of familiar faces across Morgan County there. It was a good breakfast put on by the EDC. Attended a meeting on housing. Funny that you say that, Commissioner Perry, because I can't agree with you more. I have learned to start calling it affordable housing because I think it's really important. We're not talking Section 8. We're talking about affordable housing. And I think it is an incredibly important niche that not only is missing in Morgan County, I think it's missing in a lot of places across the state and country. So, still coordinating with Banning Engineering on the poly hookup for water, working with our brokers on a few really promising leads on the shell building. And outside of that, I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have of me.
Any questions for Chelsea? Hearing none, legal.
No specific legal update, but I would, back on the projects list, sort of encourage everybody to take a look at some big themed ideas that maybe you want to see Mooresville undertake. Maybe it's, quality of life initiative, or the walkability and housing, or maybe it's a particular area that you want to see developed in a particular way. Then you can always build paths and projects that sort of lead up to that. You could, Brian mentioned Carmel. They have little neighborhoods that have apartments and above retail sections with
parks in the middle. I only mentioned that just because, Brian brought it up. Or if it's, more shell buildings, I mean, can be easier given the current status of things for what's needed and easily ability to knock off, but sort of some long-term goals or plans that then we can fit other individual projects sort of into, that they kind of come together for a sort of cohesive goal long-term that we can get others to rally behind as well. Just something to think about as for our future meetings.
And I'm going to piggyback on that. A couple of things. First of all, kind of going along with some of the things that Commissioner Culp said earlier. I know I've said this to the commission, so indulge me for just a second. I first pitched shell buildings to this commission in 2014. You see how long it's taken to get to where we are today. I don't think I was the first person to mention it either. So these things take time. And before I even mentioned it to the commission, I went to developers all over central Indiana and said, come to Mooresville, come to Morgan County, spend your money here, develop here, where we don't have inventory. And they said, nah. So I do think we're raising our visibility. I think 69 helps us with that. I think our shell building is helping us with that. And I think we can circle back around and have some of those conversations again. But absolutely finding partnerships is important. But the other part of that is all of these things take time. I like to kind of back into things from a timeline standpoint, because you think, well, maybe we'll do Main Street in 23. That really means we would probably pick a design firm by the end of this year. It's already August. They would have most of next year to design, and we would let probably next October to get the best pricing for a 2023 construction season. So I say that only because I live on this side of things where I back into all the numbers. So I back into the timelines and how long it takes to get things accomplished and when you need to bid things to get the best pricing, which is typically in the fall for the following year. So just more food for thought as we're thinking through things. But I commend you guys for the communication and for your project list and for all the comments. I think that's all steps absolutely in the right direction. So thank you.
So what you're saying is we all need to serve on the planning commission now. I mean, just wanted to throw that one across the bow.
You just made me cringe.
Just throw it out there.
Ouch.
Next, are there any questions of legal? None? Review of claims.
I would move that we approve the claims in the amount of $15,621.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Before they go to the order, I would like to ask, is there any public comment? Because for the first time in a few meetings, we actually have public here. Unless you can yell really loud.
Yeah, Don, you need to come up and state your name and where you live, please.
We got the Shane.
I mean, we're very formal here.
To the Shane Williams, for the record, 400 Northridge Drive, Billstown, New Lance.
Thank you.
So to the point about the walkability, I think Brian made a good point about if you don't connect to other sidewalks, they won't walk into the downtown. I don't think there's a master plan, like an inventory of our sidewalks anywhere, is there?
I don't think there's an inventory of our sidewalks, no.
You know how they rate streets
Right,
with a number rating. So we've got streets with no sidewalks.
right.
We've got streets with sidewalks that are in bad shape, and then we have streets with sidewalks that are good. And then, maybe we should try to come up with some kind of plan to figure out where those are
Okay.
and where you want them, where they need to be to connect them to if that's what you end up doing, to connect them to the downtown, having an inventory or a map, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And then our comp plan is so old, maybe it's a good time to, maybe we can make it part of that, or,
I'm happy to co-sponsor that to the town council.
okay?
I say co, it was your idea.
Yeah, but I don't know how, in the past, it seemed to me like this commission and the council work together some, but not as well as what I think is happening now. So I don't know how much cooperation there can be with the comp plan and putting some of their ideas.
I think if it comes from the town council, then this commission pretty much will, or should, participate, as well as the other boards throughout the town, and key players as well.
And I've seen Okra have grants for comp plans. I don't know if they have grants for renewals, like a redo of the comp plan when you already got one, but might be an option.
Yeah.
So, just thoughts. That's all.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All righty, sorry, Dr. Moore. Have anything for us?
Yes, and just going on with that, what I said earlier, as you, as a redevelopment commission, put together some kind of priority list or suggestion list or plan list, knowing that plans have to be adjusted and changed. As you put that together, I would again just encourage you to share that with the public. If there's a newspaper, do it through them, and however it goes.
There may be, I don't know if there is.
And, I'm sorry. Anyway, that should be shared, that should be known, and people like to know and maybe even question, but not things like, do I get a 3-foot sidewalk specifically like that, just concepts as to what they are and why and how, and be willing to adjust those to fit the greatest need. I think that's important, and I like the direction you're going. I think you're very capable of doing that, and everybody knows you can't please everyone, you can't please all the people all the time.
I can't believe that.
But you can keep them informed. If the information's there for them, they can find out about it. And I think that's a real step in the right direction for us as we proceed. That's all.
Commissioner Taylor?
How do you follow that? I'm good.
Commissioner Hyde,
Just what was mentioned earlier, just as we do these projects, we want to make sure that we can do them well and with not any long-term ill effects like maybe some people perceive projects in the past have. So,
Yeah.
and if we can take care of some of those past things while we're doing future things, keep looking for that. I think those are all good ideas.
Just to build on my visit to Carmel. What I saw there was a leader with a vision. He started with a vision. He got his council to believe in the vision. He got his redevelopment commission to believe in the vision. And the three of them worked together. It was a partnership where they all said, okay, this is what we want. We need a leader who will help us build the vision so that we can all three work together. Who that leader is and how that comes about, I don't know. But cooperation, to your point, is key between us and the town council, because at this point, that's what we have.
Vice President Perry.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with most of what everything's been said here this evening. We need to move forward and have new projects in mind and do what's best for the town. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
As I sat here and heard everybody's comments, thank you again. I will ask, however, can everybody have some for the next meeting is to think outside the box, think 5, 10, 20 years down the road, what you want to see Mooresville. And let's all share our ideas in front of the public at the next meeting.
Sure.
Then they can yell, kick, and scream, or build a statue.
Which will immediately be torn down.
I was going to say, I will lead that charge. Our next meeting date is September 2nd, right here, 6 p.m. If there is a change, we will publicize it with our new assigned reporter, because Lance is moving up in the world, so.
Yes.
If there's no further comments, I will take a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Your suspense was killing me. Do I have a second?
I'll second.